Hey, you people, subscribe to this guy right now. Get him into at least 10 subscribers. Come on, we can do that. He does Rocket League. I don't know what else he's gonna do, but he's a friend of mine, so why not? Let's give him some support and go ahead and subscribe. But also subscribe to me too, because we're close to 100. Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. If you knew me a while back, you'd know that I really love dinosaurs. And for today, I want to visit the franchise that brought these dinosaurs, these ferocious, crazy beasts that once roamed our land to life, which is the Jurassic Park franchise. I want to specifically focus on Jurassic Park 3, which is one of my more favorite entries to the franchise. I don't know why, it's just so enjoyable and I love Spinosaurus. It's just a fun movie, but there's problems with it. So I want to talk about the main plot detail that causes the problems throughout the film and what changes could be made to satisfy more audiences than it did. Like and subscribe if you do enjoy, and let's get into it. The main reason the main divorced couple wants to get on the island is to find their lost son, who's been lost for 8 weeks, with some guy they knew who went on a vacation, and they haven't been able to find him, so they want to get to the island and try to search for him, which, for a kid on a dinosaur island, it would be really hard to survive, especially now that there were ferocious beasts trying to hunt you down. And this provides as an issue. We need to know that he was with someone, which we do have at the beginning, but he is shortly killed off right off the start. They find him in the parachute right in the tree where they originally crashed, meaning he probably died shortly after that. And to make this more believable, because there's just this kid on the island and somehow he survives, I would make sure that he stays alive for at least a decent amount of time. Or we see his death in the beginning instead of seeing the disappearing boat chase that leads them to crash on the island. It would be more interesting to jump right into it instead of giving us all the information right ahead. And then the second problem would relate more to the couple and how they act Dr. Grant, because this point of contention becomes conflict between Dr. Grant and the couple because they actually lied just to get him to scout the island instead of actually going on it, and then they go on it to try to find his son, which I don't think they had to do. Taking from the first movie, we've learned that Dr. Grant has finally found a love for kids, and actually bringing this point up to him would be much better than lying to him in the first place. It could still cause tension that it wasn't the right island, and that they were actually going onto it and not just surveying around it, but because of that problem, it seems kind of weird when Grant just takes the money to get on the plane, especially when he says it that he won't right after, because that's a bit hypocritical. I mean, they do that a lot in movies, but Grant isn't exactly that type of character, so they misused him in that regard. And then for the couple, you could still give him the money, but be like, help our son, because Grant already has that deep love of kids. And I don't think you would need that extra layer to the conflict, because there's already some to be applied to the story. So now we have a better way for Grant to actually get on the island. It's more believable, and it makes better sense to his character that we've learned from in the first one. But there's one thing that still remains, the problem with their child, Eric Kirby, and how he plays into the story. There's just something not right about how it's laid out in the actual film. And for Eric, there needs to be some type of contact to him to know that he's actually alive, because without that, there's basically no reason to go on that island. It's about as smart as suicide, especially when you're yelling into a megaphone looking for your son. So it'd be better if you have him find a way to contact them, but it start to not work or something like that. I mean, that's pretty overused too. You can just have it work and him be on the island and they have to find him. But then somehow with the Spinosaurus, that it breaks all their phones or supplies or their suitcases get lost, something to make sure they actually have to walk around like they do in the third movie. And I would also add an element, more so than they did in the movie, where they actually put tension on how they tried to look for him, because it's been 8 weeks and they basically did nothing. But there's the US government, and you could have done a simple problem where the US government can't do it because it's not their land and they can't interfere without obligation from the others. So if they try to ask the US, they can say, we can't, it's not our land, and then they'll try to go to the Costa Rican government or whoever owns it to try to get a permit or something, and then it won't work, so they go in anyway, just like the movie. That would be a more noble cause than just kind of lying and shutting it off, as we saw in the actual film. With now a clear set goal of trying to find the kid who's actually alive, it's much more understandable of why they went to the island. With the other guy helping him, there's a better chance of him to actually survive. And he can die, that's fine. That's kind of his character's purpose in the original movie. But make it somewhat dignified and have him go out as a hero trying to protect the kid like he was supposed to. And then once they get on the island, Grant and the couple can look around and have a similar experience to what happens in the movie with their mercenaries getting murdered by the Spinosaurus and stuff. Having that T-Rex Spinosaur fight, I don't care, that's fine, that's the dinosaur stuff. But we also have to have that reason that the Spinosaur is chasing them. It seems to get annoyed once after the plane hits it somehow, and then it just chases after. But there has to be some kind of way, like, for example, Spinosaurs feel a lot with their snout, where they had, like, touch receptors similar to crocodiles. Maybe they're using the river a lot, and that's why the Spinosaur keeps following them. This happens in the end when they pass the river and find the Spinosaur there, but it kind of seems a bit forced, so it'd be better if the conflict made sense with the facts that we know about Spinosaurus. I know this was 2001, so it didn't get much of what was actually correct today about Spinosaurus, which is a weird creature altogether. I have to make a video on that. But if you have a more believable reason for all of these things, it'll really help make your movie better, and audiences will enjoy it much more. There's still some good about it. Dr. Grant's always fun. I've said that multiple times. Dinosaurs are great. The raptors are cool. T-Rex getting wrecked, I really love that. Some people hated it, but T-Rex is overrated. There's a lot of good about this movie. And this small change, and maybe a couple other changes along the way to the main conflict of the movie, could have made it much better than what was shown in the theaters. Jurassic Park 3 is clearly not the strongest entry into the roster. It has some main plot flaws that really weigh down on the rest of the movie. There are of course some good parts to it, like the dinosaurs, Alan Grant, and a couple of interactions that make it really fun to watch. If you don't pay too much attention, you can get past it and have a really enjoyable time, and you can always just appreciate the good about it and not always just hate on a movie because it's not the best. It clearly isn't the worst. I'm looking at you, Jurassic World. I can't wait to see which aspects from all of the 5 current movies are going to be placed in Jurassic World 3. It could either be a wrap-up or something much bigger, but we'll have to wait another year and see. Well guys, that's going to do it for the video. If you did enjoy, hit the like button and subscribe for more content. I'm doing a lot of commentaries recently, but it's been working out, so I'm going to keep along with a winning strategy. We are so close to 100 subscribers, but to end the video, see you guys next time.